Hello everyone, welcome to BizzTalk World Talk Show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Mr. Huzefa Merchant with us. Huzefa is the founder at INSYNC Shopfittings, and he is on a mission to empower the future while creating a more powerful youth by motivating them to believe in themselves. Huzefa is one of the first shopfitters to be awarded as one of India's top 100 retail minds by Asia Retail Congress in 2018 and 2019. So without any further ado, let's dive into know more about him. Hello, Huzefa. Thank you for joining us. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
Doing pretty well. And I'm sure this is going to be, this conversation is going to make this even better for the, as far as the day is concerned for me. So we are very keen to know about your journey. So without any further delay, why don't we just quickly get on to the first question? And if you can please brief us about your journey so far in the retail space.
Certainly. So, I mean, from a perspective of the journey, I can tell you how we started off with INSYNC and why we started off with INSYNC, a little bit of history about the company and a little bit about myself, I guess. So we've been in the shop fitting industry since 1991. This company was founded by my father in 91, and we worked with some of the best retailers since then. I joined the company in 2008, and incidentally, that was probably one of the most memorable years for me, as a person. And it was a pivotal moment, what you call the Kairos moment in my life. So there's an exhibition called Euroshop that's held in Germany every 3 years. And it's like a mecca for retailers, retail designers, and anyone related to the industry. So, as a young adult, just got into the business of shop fittings. Really exciting time, to get there. And I'm partially sighted, so I have only 5% eyesight as compared to fully sighted individuals. So for me, my fingers are my senses, and that's how I tend to view the world. And yeah, so we were at this expo looking around, and I chanced upon this German manufacturing company, very, very big, really good products. And I just asked, like a silly boy, just went about asking, why can't we do this in India? That answer kind of shook me up. The answer that I got from the German and the Indian who was working at that German firm, they said, you do not have the capability of doing this in India. And well, that day it hurt real bad.
Yeah, that's rude.
And that was the start of my journey for INSYNC. And for a couple of years, I was just working on how to make that happen, how to create those capabilities and prove people wrong. And we certainly did not have those capabilities in the current business setup. So I parted from my mother company, the Safe Enterprises brand, for a few years, did some research, used IIT Mumbai to do research for us. And based on that research, we started creating products in the shop fitting space. We had a lot of insight into how people use shop fittings, who uses them, how much percentage of women really man a store as compared to men in rural India, in main town India, all of that. And based on which we created products that suited the price point where people want to buy, the aspiration levels of Indian retailers at that time, as well as how do we make them functionally more superior than what's being done? How do we ensure that there's higher safety? So based on all of this, INSYNC was formed. And unfortunately, at that point, maybe fortunately, I don't know, the recession hit. the 2008-9 recession hit, right? And I'd already started on this journey in late 2009 and barely had any money to put into the new business, because obviously retail had almost but stopped. So my main company, the Safe Enterprises brand, was obviously cash tight. And we also had just split our partnership with our partners. So we had to pay them a share. So in all cases, from every possible front, we had no money to do this. I had a lot of support from my team. I've had the first employee of our company, who's our current COO, Satish Wable. He took a 30% cut on his salary for almost 2 years because he believed in my plan. But the one who really believed in my plan, besides my dad, my brother, and my parents, was my newlywed wife. My newly wedded wife had enough trust to come and suggest, that we sell off the house that the two of us were staying in and invest that into the business. I was sitting with my head down, figuring out what to do. And she came about like a ray of life with that suggestion. And yeah, we took that proposal to my father. Like any sane father, he wanted to beat my brains out. Saying, just got married. I mean, it's not even been 6 months, and you're asking me to destabilize your house and your family, and you want to move to a rental place. I mean, and my wife was like, yeah, I'm okay with that, because she said that if you believe in what you're doing, I believe in you. So that was the way INSYNC started. Our first office for INSYNC was a semi-broken table and 2 plastic chairs. And one designer, myself, and our current CEO. And between the 3 of us, we churned out close to maybe about 100 component drawings, made vendors believe in us that we are actually on something really big, and got their support. And those vendors are still with us. Got their support, made those components, and made it to the standards that we really wanted. And we launched INSYNC, and we got our first brand. And the first store that we ever implemented was really funny. I have my assembly tables, assembling products. I have half the factory being still constructed. And we had a 40-day deadline to finish a 5,000 square feet store for an international brand.
Oh, wow.
So, born out of fire and forged in it as well. So that's INSYNC. That's what we've created. Now, as a group, as the Safe Enterprise Group, we're moving ahead. We're growing year on year. Every 2 years, we're adding 20 to 30% property in terms of manufacturing space. We're adding a number of franchisees and display centers across different parts of the world. And we work with some of the best in the country. So that's where we are. It's been a fruitful journey. It's been a journey which has humbled me, defined me, and made me who I am. And it's helped me prove that it doesn't require eyesight to run a business or to grow it. It requires
Absolutely. What a story. And, it all started with that shocking answer from that manufacturer in Germany. And time flies, right? So we have seen all the peaks and valleys in the past so many years, and now here we are today. I'll quickly move on to the question number 2. And here we would like to ask you about those obstacles that you might have faced at the early of your career, at the early age. And if there were any, if you can also help us understand, how did you overcome them?
So when a very interesting, when you use the word obstacles, I'll probably rephrase that as challenges, because we've been able to overcome most of them. So challenges have been on three basic fronts. One, if you're talking about the work that we do, we in the shop fitting industry, we make furniture for retailers to display their merchandise. It's a very visual product, right? It requires a lot to be seen and so on and so forth. Now, in my case, I have 5% eyesight. I make 100% use of that eyesight that I have to see what I can. But for me, everyone kept asking, how are you going to run a design centric business, being 95% blind? And I had to honestly deal with that question, with that challenge, because I had to convert that adversity into an opportunity. And the way I did it was by learning to communicate my ideas, my feelings, my needs through words. And then training the people around me, my team, to be able to understand what I'm saying and convert it into designs. And for me to be able to understand what they're saying and make a mental picture in my head of the design. Today I'm at a level where if somebody is explaining a design, I can make a complete blast render of it. I can think exactly how it's going to be assembled step by step. And I can run a video of that entire thing in my head, part by part. That's the level that the training has got us to today. But anybody who knows how, anybody who's been training a team, who's been running a business, knows it's very difficult to get people to come onto one plane, onto one level, let alone communicate at the same level as you are. And I've been highly fortunate to be blessed with a team that can do that, who've understood and risen to that challenge and made me who I am. I can't decouple my success from them. My friends, my family, my parents, my wife, even my 3-year-old son can communicate with me saying, Papa, don't go here because you'll hurt yourself. There's something in the middle. So everyone around me, my brother, who also is blind and is a CA by profession and helps professionals take professional decisions. So we have been blessed in all walks of life to be able to be surrounded by people who love and care enough to work with me. So everything that I do is known to them. So that was, I think, with the help of people and a little work from my end, I think we've been able to overcome that challenge fairly well. To the extent that I don't miss my eyesight anyways. I think it's been an asset more than a liability for me to not be able to see, because that gives me a different perspective from the sighted people. And sometimes that perspective really helps. The second, and I think the ongoing challenge for us, is the perception of India as a nation. When I started off with research and development and then building products, there was not really the norm, not in our industry. It was not a norm. I think even on a nationwide bit, there are very few companies who actually went into the research and development cycle on their own. Everyone wanted to get partnerships, technical tie-ups from US or UK or Germany, and then build upon that. My vision was to do it the other way around. My vision was to supply technology from India and have international partners take that up. Fortunately, we have really been on that path We're doing it today. We've got partners in the US, in Dubai itself. We're working towards partnerships in Europe. We've got signed contracts in a number of other countries, which I am not in the liberty to reveal at this point. But by 2030, the vision is to be operating in 10 of the most retail-heavy countries in the world. So we've been able to take our technology and give it to the world. But you know how this started, Vinay?
I would love to know that.
I was in Germany at an exhibition and looking at a product. And I was like, I was a young guy then. I was probably 15 years younger. And I went like, why can't we do this in India? And the answer to that, that came from the German company representative and their Indian counterpart shook me up. It stirred my ego and even my national pride. And I made up my mind that I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make India, for my industry, a benchmark where people say, okay, you either go to Germany or you go to India.
What did the gentleman say?
He said, you don't have the capability in your country to do this.
Oh, okay. No, that really hits on the pride. Absolutely.
Yes. And today, that company doesn't have presence in India anymore. I do. I have presence in a number of countries, and I'm going for it. There'll be a time that when people think of technology and technically superior products, shop fitting systems, they will be thinking only one name, that's INSYNC, and that'll be on top of the list, and that'll not be German, Italian, American, it'll be Indian. We'll make that happen. I owe that to my team, to the people who have trusted us and the people who've worked with us. So today, when you look at it, Vinay, you've got companies like Mahindra and like Tata who are doing such fantastic work on global levels. They've got safety ratings and NCAP ratings of 5 stars for their vehicles, and they're doing a great job. 10 years back, not really the case, right?
Right. Yeah.
Plus, even to sell this idea internally, that we're going to look at doing this, we're going to make standards that high, was itself a challenge. People thought I was mad. They thought I had lost my mind. So, but fortunately, everyone who was around, who was with me, supported me, and are till date on the team, on the bandwagon, and working as hard as they were then. They're working as hard now. So yeah. So I mean, when you have challenges and you have the determination to make good of those challenges, I believe you find the people, you find the path. So that's
right.
the mantra of overcoming any challenges.
Absolutely. I think what you just narrated, Huzefa, it's a sheer example of determination, grit, hard work, and belief. Most importantly, you got to believe that you can do that. I mean, you being 15 years younger and having someone saying this on your face, hitting your pride and your nation pride as well. Probably that was the trigger, right? So that's when you believe that yes, I can do it, and I'm going to be able to make it happen one day. And here we are today. All right, amazing. I think we all have a lot to learn from this answer, and I'm sure this is for our viewers. I'm sure you're also facing some of the other challenge. Life is not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to throw challenges at you, but you got to find the right way and the right solution to it. Moving quickly to the next question, Huzefa. The third question is probably more about the retail industry. And we would like to know, what do you think? What do you believe is the future of retail?
So retail's always been a dynamic, fluid industry, Vinay, and that's never going to change. More so now, because now the norms have been shaken, right? It was always, there was bazaars, bazaars became probably supermarkets and stores, and then departmental stores, hypermarkets and supermarkets and malls. But everything was very simple. Customer came to retail. The dynamic remained the same, not anymore. Now, with e-commerce, retail is going to customer. It's literally, if you can't get the mountain to you, you go to the mountain, right? Or you can't get the water to you, you go to the well. Now the well's coming to you. How do you compete with that convenience? I think it's not as simple. It's not a single layered answer. But the fact of the matter remains that what has not changed is that the human being is still a social animal. We can't live in a cocoon, right? We can't live in our own homes. We need to go to work. Work from home is convenient, maybe not sustainable. Same thing with e-commerce and shopping. It is extremely efficient for some industries. The experience that you get at a retail store, just imagine when you walk into a store, there is light, there is smell, there is sound, there are people around you, things are moving, there's an atmosphere. It is an experience to go and buy a product from a store, taking a look at it, touching it, feeling it, conversing about it, taking your friend's opinion who's with you, or a companion's opinion who's with you, maybe even taking the salesperson's opinion at that point. That entire experience, that cannot be changed. But yes, there is a very big wedge that now there is a convenience factor that has to be taken into consideration. And retailers need to rise to that challenge. They need to enhance their strength, and their strength being experience. I mean, if you're a right-handed person and you want to write fast, you're going to use your right hand. You're going to strengthen your right hand, right? You won't say, okay, now I want to write fast, so I'm going to start using my left hand. That's not going to work. Similarly, for retailers, the strength is in the experience, in the in-store experience. And they need to use digital technology. They need to use the convenience, the efficiency of digital technology in the stores to heighten the experience that a customer gets when they've taken the trouble to walk into your door.
True.
We did a research some time back, and we bought out some research also. So there's a research from PricewaterhouseCoopers 2016, which did a research globally and did a research in India. And the research was what amounts to a good in-store experience for a consumer, right? And the top three things that emerged from there. Number one was that customers want product information. They want salespeople who have more information, who know their products well. They wanted to know what else is available in the store, or what else is available with the brand, which is not showcased in that store. And they wanted a seamless checkout experience. They wanted more convenience there. I mean, there are 10 points to this that we tabulated. These are the top three. Retailers focus on the look and feel of the store. Designers focus on the look and feel of the store. That ranked 8th on the list. These parts ranked, on the top three. Now, we worked on developing technology that allows retailers to leverage digital technology within physical spaces to achieve these three objectives for their consumers. So, well, if retailers need to up their game, they need to leverage digital technology. They need to bring blur the line between physical and digital when it comes to delivering the product to the customer. But the strength lies in the experience. Today, you also have models like pop-up stores, where you can just take your entire store and put it at a concert, put it at a cinema hall, make it part of, say, Expo 2020, right?
Yeah.
Make it part of a society. We've enabled such products. We've created such products to enable pop-ups, to integrate digital and physical in the whole bit. So there is so much that retail can do. Retail is going to change.
Yeah.
Drastically. But it's going to change for the better. For the consumer, it's going to be better. It's going to be more efficient and more sustainable for the retailer, because once you start leveraging efficiencies of digital technology within your store, it does a lot. It gives you a lot of information and it gives you a lot of data. It tells you a lot more about your customer than you could ever know through a general physical store. So yeah, that's what I believe the future of retail is. That's the future that we are working towards. The future we are working towards empowering.
That sounds exciting. That sounds really exciting. As even if I talk about it from a layman's point of view, it kind of brings the best of both the worlds together. I'm getting the experience and I'm getting the convenience at the same time. So that's exactly what a consumer would love about it. So thank you so much for kind of throwing some light on that particular point and helping us understand what is going to be the future of the retail industry. Moving quickly to the next question. And here we would like to know about technology a little bit more. You mentioned that you are working on you have kind of created some technology that really helps retailers becoming more convenient. So when no one is investing time in technology, why are you?
Steve Jobs always said that success is always at the next curve, right? Greatness is at the next curve. What you can see right now is limited. You've got to be able to figure out what's going to be the next bend. That's when Formula One drivers become world champions, right? That's when a Lewis Hamilton becomes a Lewis Hamilton, and a Steve Jobs becomes a Steve Jobs. And I mean, if you look around me, I'm surrounded with quotes from people like them. Steve Jobs having 2 on my mantle, out of the 7 quotes I have.
Okay.
You can't focus on the now. If your vision is got to be at least 10 years in the future, you've got to focus on how things are moving, and you've got to invest towards that future. Yes, we are not a publicly funded company. We do not have the resources to invest huge amount of capital towards the future, towards 10 years. We have to also sustain our now, right? So as a business, we work on technology to improve our efficiencies to make us sustainable now. And when it comes to developing technology for our customers, we develop technology for the customers with a vision of how they can leverage that today and be able to really gain from it even in the next 10 years. So how the gain is sustainable over the next 5 to 10 years. So yeah, you can't have a short-term vision when you talk to talk about growing a business. So you have a clear path where you want to go. You can't have a short-term vision, and that's why I would continue to invest in machinery that improves our productivity, in software that includes our productivity. My brother is personally developing an ERP system which is going to understand our needs, our company's unique challenges, and then it's built and wrapped around those challenges, right? We're doing that. We're working on that. We're trying to work on virtual reality products. We're trying to work on a number of products that we can then integrate into the racks and enable gamification, where people are buying products, enable communication of product features right next to the product. We're trying to create retail into edu retail, where
Mhm.
customers can understand more about the products and services that they're buying before they're buying.
Mhm.
Interestingly, when you're looking at sports shoes, customers go in, and if they understand why a running shoe is a running shoe and what the features are that will help them run better, hurt themselves lesser, whatever matters to them, and then you can talk to them. You can't do that sustainability with salespeople because every salesperson is going to have his own personality and version. But a
Mhm.
video can communicate that extremely well.
Yeah,
And then the
amazing.
salesperson can take that forward, that communication forward and tailor it to the consumer. So we're enabling such technology at the rack today.
Okay, that's amazing.
So that's how I look at the future. It's going to be a digital future. It's going to be an integrated future where man, machine, robot, software, all of them come together to create sustainable, affordable, and beautiful futuristic projects.
Wow, that sounds so exciting and convincing to me. And we definitely look forward to having robots and machineries working in tandem with humans to make it a better experience for all of us. Thank you so much, Huzefa. I'll quickly move on to the last question of the session today. And here we would like to ask you, since you have been in the industry for such a long time, you have been accoladed and awarded by so many different platforms and so many different organizations globally. So I think you are in the right spot to let the young professionals know in the industry that what they should be doing. What is your 2 cents for them?
I'd simply say one thing, that adversities, challenges, problems are as much as a part of your life as your own breath. You can't run from them, you can't hide from them, and you can't wish them away. What defines you is how you deal with those challenges, how you face them. Success does not come to people who do not have fear. It comes to people who go on despite it. The ability to extract opportunities out of adversity is the ability that you need to invest in the most. Your attitude far exceeds your aptitude when it comes to success. You could be the best in the world at what you do, but if you do not have a winner's attitude, you're going to be mediocre. You're not going to be at the top. Don't give up. Be hungry, stay foolish. Steve Jobs has left me with this one message that remains the guiding force. However successful you are, stay hungry, stay foolish. It's the fools like us that change the world.
Thank you so much, Huzefa. It is such an amazing experience to talk to you today and learning so much about the future of retail, and as well as learning so much from your experiences in the past 15 years or so. So once again, thank you so much for being on the show today. For our viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Huzefa Merchant, please like and share this video, and also subscribe to Clickaway Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do and have more coming from the industry leaders. This is Vinay for BizzTalk World.